It would have been about 11 o'clock, and I was between Denman and Bulga.
Yep.
And I saw this thing on the side of the road, and I was only about probably 10 metres from it when I actually caught it in the headlights.
Yep.
And it actually sat up, and it was a light grey. And I looked at it and I thought, no, it's not a roo. Like, it was no roo. And it was sort of, it just sat up on it, like, you know how they used to sit up?
Yep.
And it looked at into the light, and then it just sort of ambled back away, and it was just the shape of it. Like, and it was no roo, it was no dog, it was nothing that I've seen in the time I've been in the bush. Like, I've shot feral dogs, I've seen lots of different things, but looking at what I saw, it's definitely it was definitely like mainland tiger. Like,
that's awesome. So what time was it?
11 o'clock.
11 p.m. Yep.
Yep.
And how far were you from it when you saw it, you reckon, in distance, as you were approaching
less
it?
than 10 metres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I stopped. And that's what, like, cause I seen it, I thought, like I was driving a Commodore Ute.
Yep.
I thought, and when I first noticed, I thought it might have been a roo. So I sort of slowed down that a little bit so I could double check, and yeah, it was no roo. And like, just the only thing I couldn't see like was the stripes, but the colour of it sort of, like, you know, the redneck wallabies.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
It was that would have been like the colour of the body of it was more that colour.
Yep.
But yeah, like it was more of a dog looking than anything. And it was, yeah, like it would have been about the size of a kelpie.
Yep.
And yeah, I just walked on, and where it was, like, you got the big mountains in between Bulga and Denman on your right, like as you're coming back towards Denman on your right, and it went up into the mountains there.
Okay.
After I lost sight of it.
Is there a lot of bush up through that area?
Yeah, like it's a lot of national park and stuff like that.
Yep. Was any of that burnt recently?
Yeah, there was, the fires went through there a couple of years ago. Oh, last year sort of thing.
Yeah, not just summer gone.
No, yeah, like the summer this year.
Yep.
Like just left.
Yeah, when they had the big bad fires in January.
Yeah.
So there was fires up there then?
Yep.
Okay.
And like I said, like, well, it was eating, like, there was a dead roo on the side of the road where it was, and that's why it sort of, like, really made me think there was something more to it than what I thought at first.
So when you...
As I was driving away, I'm going, no, that's definitely what I saw. Like I was sort of second guessing myself for a little while, and then when I got home, I spoke to Mike and I said, look, this is what I saw last night.
Yep, it was just you on your own?
Yeah, I was on my own.
Yep. So when you pulled up, were you still looking at it and it ambled off, or?
Yeah, it sat up. Like, as I pulled up, it actually sat up on its, leant back on its tail.
Excellent.
And then just went back down on all fours, and just like the shape of it, like, was higher in the back end, and just walked off into the scrub over a fence. Like, there was a fence line, and it just sort of got over through it and then up the hill.
Okay. That's awesome, mate. That's really good.
And I just didn't have, like, if it was a bit brighter, I would have had my phone out. It was like close to dark, like midnight, and I'm thinking, nah, I can't do much about it now.
Yeah, it would have been another iffy photo. We're the masters of iffy photos, mate, in our group, I tell you.
But no, it would have been, like, if I'd had my phone in my hands, if I wasn't driving and that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I would have, like, it was right in front of the ute on high beam.
That's awesome. That's so good. It would have been actually a clear photo if you had enough light and a chance to do it.
Yeah, like as like the light, like cause I've only just put brand new headlights on my ute, so it was sort of like the lights were bright as anything, and I just looked and I went, what? Like it was sort of like I was shocked to see it.
So how many seconds from your approach to when it disappeared could you see it? 5, 10 seconds?
I would have been probably 5 or 6 seconds looking at it while I was sitting up on its rear end.
Yep.
And then probably another 5 or 6 seconds after it got down on all fours before it got through the fence, through the fence and was gone.
Yeah, right.
So probably 25, 30 seconds all up.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's a huge sighting.
Like, yeah, like it was long enough for me to, like, second guess myself more than once and go, I've seen so much stuff in the wild, in the bush. Like, I've been a professional tracker for years, and like you see stuff like this and you go, nah, like this is something totally different.
Yep.
And like that's why I wanted to let you know, like.
Well, the fact that you saw it sitting up on its haunches like a roo, but then walking on all fours is quite significant.
Yeah, like it led back on its tail, like you know how they, like I've seen that the new video they found of that one in Tasmania, like in Hobart Zoo.
Yep.
And it was like that, like he sat up, and I went, no, like that's not a roo, like that's what am I looking at?
Yeah. So was it slender? Was it stocky? Was it muscular?
Fairly, like really muscular, but like I don't know how you sort of say it. Like it was a cross between a dingo, like a greyhound muscular body, but a bit like a kelpie size.
Yeah, I get what you mean. When it went over the fence, did it leap over the fence? Did it touch the fence, or did it go through the fence?
It didn't even touch the fence. It just went like it was just a normal, like an old low fence, and it just went over it, sort of thing, and was gone. Like, and like I didn't even have a chance to get out of the car.
Yeah, right.
And then I sort of sat there, like going to myself, was that what I think it was? Was that? And then I was just sort of taken back, and then I'm going, no, it has to have been what I think it was. Like, the tail, like it had that stocking tail, and then it come right down. And I said it was a real funny shape. And I'm going, no, the back legs higher in the back end, lower in the front shoulders. Yeah, no, this is different. Like, it was the way it moved was different to a dog.
What would you say about the way it moved?
Oh, just the way it walked. Like, it was just a funny, shuffly walk.
Okay.
It's like, compared to a dog was more fluid walking.
Yeah.
Where the walking wasn't quite as fluid as a dog.
Okay. And in regards to what, the front legs or the back legs?
Yeah, like the front of it, like, yeah, it just looked different. Like, just, I can't describe how, like, but it was different.
Okay. Yeah. And you've been out
With
bush.
dogs,
You've seen a lot of foxes and things like that.
yeah, like I shoot feral dogs and shoot foxes and that for a living and that. And, like, nah, this is, like I said, it moved different. It was just 100% different.
So, the area you've mentioned in New South Wales where this was, where was that again?
Near Bulga, between Bulga and Denman.
Okay, is that coastal? Is that in coastal hinterland?
Yeah, it's sort of just inland off the coast.
Yeah. What's the nearest city?
Newcastle.
Okay, how far from Newcastle is it?
100 kilometres.
Okay, in the north.
And then you've got Maitland
Yep.
and stuff like that. Singleton, it's all in that area.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, we've had a few sightings up that way actually. There's some lakes up there that there was some sightings on down near the coast. 2 sightings in a week I think we had. Is it real thick bush in that area?
Yeah, it's really thick. It's sort of, you've got the mines down Maitland and everything, and Bulga.
Yep.
And yeah, like it's really scrubby looking.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
that's where he headed straight back up into those mountains, like in that rocky hill.
Yep. And this was last night.
No, not last night, the night before.
That's really good, mate. That's a really solid sighting with some great detail. And the fact that you're a professional shooter for a living gives it a lot of credibility as well. You know what you're looking at. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not like I'd never seen something that caught my eye like it did. Like it was just like, wait a minute, oh, that's only a ruin first, and then I looked that second look, and I've backed it back like probably back in the third gear to try and slow down enough. And that was sort of like I was just coming up to it, and I had the light still on high beam, and it just sort of sat up, and I went, wait a minute, like that's no roo, that's wait a minute, like I've looked and yeah, like I went, no, that's something different. I know what that looks like, but no, I've got to be seeing things.
And you're familiar with them from just from being online or from TV as a kid or whatever,
yeah,
or
like learning about them at school, like when I was at school, and I like hearing about them and stuff like that.
Yep.
Through the museums, like I went down to the museum in Sydney, and they've actually got one stuff down there.
Yep.
And I saw it, and that was, and as I said, like that's the only thing that like had me a little bit taken back was the colour of it. Like, was the difference? Wasn't that sandy colour? It was more of a greyish.
I'm going to say it was probably a female if it was grey. A lot of the pelts that are grey are female ones.
And you know what I thought the other night when I seen it?
What's that?
And I've said to my brother and my son today that I think it was a female.
There you go. So, what gave you that impression, do you think? Just the look of it? The face, or...?
Yep, just the look.
Yep.
The look. It was just the way it was. And I just said to the young fella there, I said, I reckon it's a female. I said, just don't know why. I said, to me it would have been a female.
Yep.
And like the shape of it, its nose was that long nose. Well, I said there was no way it was a dog.
Yeah. Sitting up like a roo and then walking off on all fours, that's not like too many things.
No, well that's it. That's why, like I said, like when I first saw it, I thought I was seeing things.
Yeah, I bet you did, mate. I bet you did.
I've seen a lot of stuff, and like I've done a lot of tracking over the years. And, like I've seen tracks, like dog tracks that I've not been sure that they're actually dog tracks.
Yeah.
Even out this side of town.
Yeah.
I've heard noises like different barks of a night that you wouldn't put down to a dog.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like you hear them all the time out here, and you just don't worry about it. But also when you see something this close, like I said, I would have been less than 10 metres from it.
That's awesome. That's really good. That's so significant.
So yeah, like it's. I've always thought they're still around, and so like what I saw the other night, I'm 100% positive that's what it was.
Yep. You know, the area where you saw it, do you drive through there very often?
I drive through there a fair bit because my girlfriend lives in Boywood.
Yeah, okay.
So I go down there.
Have you stopped and had a look at the animal it was eating?
No, because I was on my way home the other night, so... because I'd been down there on the Thursday.
Yep.
So I was on my way home.
Yep.
And because I was sort of so late, I was just, pretty much I'd been down there that day, and then I was on my way home, and I'd just gone through Jerry Plains, and I'd stopped at Jerry's Plains for a walk, and so I would have only been in the car probably 10 minutes after Jerry's Plains.
Yep.
Until when I seen it, and I went, and yeah, I would bet any anything that's what it was.
That's awesome. Could you pin it on a map, the spot?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. If you go past there by chance, could you have a look at the animal it was eating and just take a photo and tell us, what's left of it, sort of thing?
Yeah, not too easy.
It'd be pretty wet there still, is it?
There was a pretty fresh roadkill when I went through on the Thursday morning. I went through there.
So it was. It'd only be about 5 days old at the most, sort of thing.
No, it was that day. Like, it was killed that morning.
Yeah,
When I
okay.
went through.
Well, if you could have a
It was
look,
hit by a truck.
because what we've
Right-
got this
right
theory
on the
that
road.
they rip the heads off and eat the lungs.
Yep.
And we've been finding lots of headless kangaroos with their lungs missing. Or we find them with their throats ripped out and there's no blood in them.
Yeah, I've had that. I've found them. I found that in paddocks myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's... I think the male makes a kill and he leaves it for the female. And then she comes along and rips the head off and eats the lungs. And she feeds that to the young.
Yeah, like I used to do a lot of roo shooting out near the Warren Bungles.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
We used to have that a lot. You'd find them in the middle of the night. Like you'd be shooting roos, and you'd find roos dead in the paddock with no heads left, and their chests open up,
Yep.
and stuff like that. I've seen sheep like it, and you'd look at them and you think, wait a minute, that's not like a normal dog kill. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the difference with the kill patterns.
Yeah. Like, I know that back in the early 90s they found that, like a body of a baby one out near Tarawina
Did they really?
in a cave.
Okay.
Around Tarawina they found one.
And it wasn't that old, or it was a fossilized, really
No,
old one.
Yeah, and like you can see all the like it looked like when Pop found, like, was talking about, my grandfather was talking about it, like he'd seen it, and the skin on it, he reckoned, was still attached to it.
Yep. Yeah, I'd never heard about that one.
Supposed to be pretty tough. Yeah, well, that was in about 95 or something that they found it.
Okay. And that would have gone off to the museum or something?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it, but they were supposed to be going to do tests on it. That was years ago. National Parks. It was taken to the National Parks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody sort of knows whatever happened to it.
There's been a couple of very fresh looking ones found on the Nullaborin caves.
Yeah, I knew about them ones too. But yeah, like I was saying, that's, and like in those areas, like where they've been found around here, is in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, they love mountains, but they love the coast as well. They'll go in any habitat really.
Yeah, but no, I was like, it was just that colour of it that made me second guess myself.
Yep.
But yeah, no.
Is there still plenty of wallabies and roos in those areas?
Yep.
Yep. So there's plenty of game.
Yeah, lots of roos, lots of hares, lots of rabbits.
Yep. Any wombats?
Lots of feral pigs, lots of deer. Like they get deer through there as well.
Yep. Any wombats?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, cool. Well, that's
Lots
good. There's
of-
plenty of game in those areas to keep predators happy then.
Yeah, well that's it. And that's like I'd like to know, just see people leave them alone. Like I like seeing these sort of like,
Yeah.
Like, if it is what I think it is, leave it alone. Let it breed up.
Yeah, well, I think personally, mate, on the mainland, I think that's been happening for quite some time. I think the numbers have been
Yeah, I don't think it
increasing.
ever left the mainland.
We get lots of sightings in South Australia, and we get lots of sightings in Gippsland in Victoria as well. There's...
Yeah, I don't think they've ever let. I don't think they ever like they were ever killed out of the mainland.
Nah, never, mate. They've
I
always
reckon
been
they've
there.
just gone to the scrub.
I agree with you fully.
Like there's so much scrub around and that. there's no way they're 100% ever been shot out.
Yeah.
They just
Not many of them in Tassie. They weren't really shot out. They were basically trapped in Tassie, snared or trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't shoot that many of them.
But no, like, yeah, so, like I said, I go through there all the time, and I've seen, like I say, you see things on the sides of the road that you sort of don't even sort of think about it. And that's like, I'd only not long beforehand seen a couple of roos, and that's why I sort of got a bit on edge going home. And then there's this other one's right in front of the ute on the right hand side of the road, and I'm just boo. So it was on the driver's side of the car. That was why I really took notice of it. Like, it was, oh, wait a minute.
Did you see any colour of the eyes at all? Did you see any eye shine?
I wasn't really taking much notice. I was more worried about the colour of it.
Yeah, so you're looking at the whole beast.
And like its shape. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's fair enough,
like,
mate.
It was sort of like looking at what I was looking at, like trying to get it into my head that I was seeing it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a revelation when it happens.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like that was when I got home and told Mike, he said, "You need to talk to this fella."
Yeah, well, we've been at it for a few years now.
You need to talk.
The main part of what we're about is really about the mainland, because the mainland was kind of unrecognised. But there's so many sightings on the mainland, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I said, like, when, because my brother, let's say, he's been in your group for a long time, and
yeah,
he just said, you need to talk to these people now. He said, I don't know what to do. He said, you need to talk to them. I've seen footprints that I've sort of been a little bit, what the heck are they?
Yep.
Even out here. And you look at it and you go, no, that's a different shape to a dog, and it's a different shape to a fox, and it's a different shape to this, but it's a canine foot.
Yeah. Often we
like
find these big prints that look almost like a hand. They're that big, and they've got a fifth toe that digs in.
Yeah. Sounds more like it.
Yeah, they're quite large prints.
That's
But
what I mean, like, and you look at them and you go, no, that's different. What? No, you got to be seeing, I'm looking at something wrong here. You know what I mean? Like, you just look at them and you go, no, that's not right.
yeah.
That shouldn't be there.
Have you tracked any of those weird prints before when you've been out and you've found stuff like that? Have you managed to track things for a while when you've found unusual prints?
Yeah. Like, I've done a lot of it where you've tracked them and then all of a sudden you just lose them in the thicker scrub.
Yep.
Or,
Do you use dogs when you go tracking?
no, I usually do it on myself. Like, when I'm tracking something, I'm always on my own looking.
Okay, yep. Some hunters like to
going
use
out
dogs a
hunting,
bit.
I'll take my dogs with me.
Yep.
But normally if I'm out on foot,
Yep.
and I'm not going, like, I'm just going bushwalking and stuff, I'll just take off and just go.
Okay.
And that's usually when I do find stuff, is when I'm actually just out walking and you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you'll find something that's just not right. You'll find something like a roo dead that's not shot and it's just in the middle of nowhere. And you'll go, well, it's a bit unusual here.
Yep.
And stuff like that. I've had that a lot, like where I've found roos just in bits, and you go, there's no dogs around here. And then you look at it and it's been killed strangely.
Yep.
I've seen them where they've been snapped in half. Like,
Jesus.
the roo's actually had its back completely broken in half.
That's unreal.
And stuff like that.
And was it eaten and preyed on, or it was just killed?
Just killed.
And was it a male roo?
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's something pretty strong.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, that's those things that keep truckies out of the Pilliga.
And I know they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, mate. I wouldn't doubt you for a minute. They're in Tassie, those things.
Like I've tracked them, and I've actually been tracked by them.
Yep.
I know they won't hurt you, but yeah, like they're watching you, they're following you.
Yep.
You just sort of go, yeah, all right, don't make any sudden movements, don't do anything stupid.
Yep.
Get out of it okay.
Yeah, you just got to play your cards right.
Yeah, you just don't want to find the young ones.
Okay. They're a bit more crazy.
The young ones,
Yep.
Yeah, they're just like a normal 2-year-old.
Yep. No idea.
Like if you find one of them, you just stay. You try and make sure you don't get on the wrong side of them.
Yep. No, that'd be fair enough.
Other than that, I have seen stuff that you sort of really have thoughts of.
If you do come across any unusual prints or kills or whatever, feel free to take photos and flick them through to us too.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will. And if I can if I can find them again, I won't see any more of the real big ones when I go bushwalking. Normally I do take stuff with me, so I'll try and get casts of them and stuff as well.
Yeah, no worries. That'd be great.